Hey, it's Chris, and in this video I'm going to answer the question, what time of day should I run? Now the quick answer is that any time, whenever you want to go for a run, is a good time to go for a run. But there are some slight differences, and if you've tried running at different times of day and noticed that they feel a bit different, we'll go through the various times of day in this video and explain why they might feel a little bit different. And then you may want to change your schedule, but probably what you'll find is you fit running in where it fits in your life. So let's start with morning running. Now, the challenge with morning running is that we've just been in bed all night and our body isn't really ready for exercise, so our core body temperature is lower, our muscles are a bit stiff from not having done anything all night, and so it can be a bit physically harder to run in the morning. Now, that's no bad thing, just adds a bit of challenge, but it can sometimes feel a bit harder. If you're finding running really difficult already, then adding that extra bit of challenge might not be a great plan. But it's also great for getting you ready for the day. So if you think your body is cool and it is stiff on a morning and you go out for a run, you get it nice and warm, you get the muscles moving, that's a great way to set yourself up for the day. So if you want to be productive, have a productive day, then starting a run could be a really good idea there. It's also great if you want to do fasted training. So if you're looking to increase the body's ability to burn fat, then having not eaten anything since your meal the night before will mean that your carbohydrate stores are depleted, and therefore if you're doing fasted training, and I've got a video about fasted training if you want to go learn more about that, then that's a really great time to do it because you just don't have any breakfast and go straight out for your run and you don't have to worry about anything else. The reasons that I like running on a morning is, one, it's really quiet. Most people are still in bed. It's mostly just runners and dog walkers that get up first thing. And so I generally have the canal towpath to myself. And I like the fact it's cool as well. I'm more of a cold weather runner than running in the heat. And so I like to get out before the heat of the day and have a nice chilled morning run. Let's move on to lunchtime then. So of course by lunchtime, the body has been up and moving unless you've been in bed till noon. So you're probably a bit warmer, your muscles are a bit easier. The other thing that's great for a lunchtime run is it really fits into your day. So rather than having to get up early or eat into your evenings, you can just, if you've got a lunch break, if you're in the office, remember when we all used to go to the office, you can fit in like a half an hour run and a quick shower and get back to your desk. Or if you're working from home, obviously a lot easier because you don't have to manage all of that stuff, but you can get out there, go for a quick run, it fits into your day, and then you can just eat as you work when you get back, and it's a really nice way to fit it in. Then moving on to evening running. So by the evening, our core temperature is really up nice and high, and our muscles have been working all day, so they're really ready to exercise by this point. So in terms of how we physically feel, evening is a great time to run. And again, summer evenings are a lovely time to go for a run, especially if it's spring when it's starting to cool down. I quite like a nice evening run as well. Now, of course, it does mean that there are other people about, and where I run can get a bit busy, and that's a bit annoying. And also, your body might be physically ready, but if you've been working all day, then sometimes it can be quite exhausting to come home from work and then think, right, I've got to go out and get a run. Might be slightly physically easier, but could be mentally harder to find that motivation to get yourself out the door after you've spent the day. So really depends on what your circumstances is, whether you get mentally tired or physically tired or how you feel, something to experiment with. Now, a question we might ask at this point is, okay, well, what do the pros do? Because they probably know what they're doing and they spend a lot of time in it. So if we look at, for example, elite triathletes, typically they will swim first thing in the morning and do their running a little bit later. Now, that kind of indicates that we shouldn't do morning running, but let's not read too much into that because, of course, what a lot of the pro triathletes need is like a pool to themselves or half the pool reserved for themselves, And when is it easier to get a swimming pool? Well, first thing in the morning, that's when a lot of the club swims happen. That's when you can get the pool before they let everyone else in. So I think a lot of the way that that's structured is down to pool availability. And while it is good to run later in the day because you're more warmed up, I don't think we can really read into anything that the elites do, because that just the logistics of how you structure and get a pool, just read into that. So again, if we're working on like we want to be prepped ready for the race, then actually running in the morning where we're a bit stiff and tired is really good, because that's how we're going to feel towards the end of a race, especially if we're doing a longer race. So not much guidance there from the elites, I don't think. So in summary, most people run when it fits into their lives. That might be the morning, it might be lunchtime, it might be the evening. Most of us are busy, a lot of us have families, we've got jobs. We need to fit running around that and make it a pleasurable activity as much as it can be, rather than a chore. So whenever you want to fit running into your life, that's a great time to do it. That said, if you're finding it really hard and you're doing it first thing in the morning and finding it physically hard, then maybe try an evening run and see if that makes it any easier. Similarly, if you're really struggling for motivation and you get home from work and you're thinking, I just can't be bothered to go out the door, then try switching to a morning run and find out if that makes it any easier to get out the door for you. Personally, I generally like a good morning run to get me up, get me moving, but I don't mind an evening run, especially later in the spring and summer when we've got daylight till like 9 p.m. That's a great time to go for running too. So experiment, play around and see what works for you. Hopefully this video was useful. If so, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want more running advice, then hit the subscribe button, because that's what my channel is all about, and I would love to see you in another video.